Hello, you guys, and thank you for tuning in to the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiara. So nice to see you guys again. Happy Sunday to you all. I'm so grateful that you guys are tuned in tonight. I first want to start by thanking everyone that has shared, that has given feedback, that has just kind of let me know how me sharing has helped them so far, because that's definitely the goal. So I do not take it lightly. Every little thing that you guys do to support, I really do appreciate it so much. I can't even say that enough. I'm going to start by just giving the announcements, just as a refresher for those that are already a part of the community, and some news that you can use if you're new here. So welcome. Let's start by just saying, if you want to be a guest, there's different opportunities for you to do so. You can go on the website at thejourneypodcast.life and click the link that says be a guest. That's closer to the bottom of the webpage. That prompts you to give your information, and that'll send me an email. If you are a texter, then you can text the hotline at 770-802-1200. Again, that's 770-802-1200. So those are the options that you can use to be a guest. Guys, if you want, we don't have to talk about what I want to talk about. We can talk about whatever journey you feel like might be beneficial to someone else in the community, or maybe something that you just want to talk about just to get it off your chest. I learned from going to therapy that talking about things that you keep in to yourself, it helps you to release. And so, definitely grateful for my therapist, Mrs. Sharon. I love you so much. And I appreciate you. And so, definitely, if you guys want to talk about it, please feel free. I'm so open to having that conversation with you, and just helping you, just like allowing the community to be that outlet for you. So, yeah, if you want to be a guest, like I said, the journey that you share doesn't have to be a journey that you have to heal from. It could have been a journey that you just saw yourself growing in, such as the journey that we're going to talk about today. Another thing, we are on different platforms. We're on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and YouTube. And you also can check out the latest video on the website at thejourneypodcast.life. If there is a platform that you're already listening to podcasts on, and you just want to add the Journey podcast to that list of podcasts that you're already tuned into, please feel free to also text the hotline at 770-802-1200 and just let me know, hey, I listen to podcasts on such and such, and I'll look at what it takes to get us on that podcast platform. So, with that being said, those are the announcements. The journey that we're going to talk about today is a journey that keeps me growing, that I'm so grateful for, that it's just overwhelming to just know that I've gained the confidence to take on this journey time after time, because I find myself, as I'm getting older, as my kids are getting older, just constantly just going for it. So this journey that I want to share with you guys today is stepping out of your comfort zone. So, stepping out of your comfort zone. I was on the phone with someone today, and they were just giving me feedback on the last week's episode, and so I was so grateful for that I said, you know what, let me share with them just a little, a little sprinkle of what this week's episode is going to be. And so, because they know me, they know that um one of the biggest things that I've done, like as far as stepping out of my comfort zone, was moving from my hometown. And so the response the person gave me was like, oh, you know what? Moving from your hometown isn't for everybody. So that's not something like you should just like encourage everybody to do. And so I wasn't even thinking about that. But I'm glad that that was said, because it gave me the opportunity to just um really just kind of think more on it, where I could share that journey and also give other options, like insight on different aspects of how I stepped out of my comfort zone and how I've had to step out of my comfort zone. Because sometimes it's not by choice. It's just I don't have a choice. I just gotta do it. It's time to move. And when I say move, I mean move out of my comfort zone. So if you know me, like I said, one of the biggest things that I did was leaving my hometown. And I can say that that is not for everybody. So if you do leave your hometown, you decide, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone by changing my environment, a lot more has to change. Because if you leave your hometown and you go with the same mindset, the same habits, and the same, just everything's the same, the only thing that's going to change for you is your address. You might get a new phone number because you're in a new city if you want, like, oh, first start, I got a new phone number. But what does that mean if you're still the same old, same old Jan, same old Joe? And so, with that being said, that is an aspect of stepping out of your comfort zone, because a new environment, you have no choice. But especially if you move somewhere where you don't have family, you don't have friends, so now you're starting over, you're putting yourself in a predicament where you do have to make new friends if you want like friends that are always there. You do have to make sure that you have a sitter situation, or some kids signed up for school, whatever the case may be. So when I moved separated, and like about to like in the process of getting a divorce, um with 6 kids, so that was a lot for me. And so I had to learn to stand on my own 2 feet, and I had to change my mind about some things. I went alone. I was in a relationship. So, as I was in a relationship, because I was in the middle of a divorce and I just had started like being in a relationship, I wanted to be, I didn't want, to live with someone. So, um, my now husband, he was my boyfriend at the time. He lived in his place and I lived in my place. And so it was just me and my 6 kids, and I had to figure it out because I didn't realize how dependent on um, my ex-husband I was, that I just had to, I was like, man, I really depended on him to do a lot for me. So that forced me to stand on my own 2 feet. I didn't have any family there, and everybody was at least 4.5 hours away, because I moved to Atlanta and I was like, okay, this is a new start. And so I had to change my mind. I had to stop doing things that I was used to doing, because I was physically all my kids had at the time. So with 6 kids, that's a lot. So I had to put the kids in, make sure that they were going to good schools. I had to make sure that the kids that weren't old enough for school, I had to make sure I had to make sure that they were in a good daycare. And yeah, that was a lot. And then I had to find work. So with no I didn't have a job. So thankfully I moved in 2021. So this was like around the time when when they were giving out stimulus checks. So I used all of my stimulus checks, guys, to pay the rent up for 3 months to give me time to find a job. And so I was like, okay, I can find a job in 3 months. I got 90 days to find a job. 90 days has definitely just been a number for me. I just realized something just now, so it was good. That was good. But I was like, I'm gonna give myself 90 days. I used every penny that I had to move, guys. I was saving from my little job, and then when COVID hit, then I was out of work, but I was like getting unemployment too. So everything that I had, y'all, I used it to move because I needed a U-Haul. Then I had to turn the U-Haul in. Then I got a parking ticket on the U-Haul because the U-Haul was so big and I had it parked in a no parking zone. So I had a parking ticket. I had all kind of just issues when I moved. And so, guys, me stepping out of your comfort zone is not going to always be easy. And it's not going to always be peaches and creams. creams. It's not gonna always be peaches and cream. And it's not gonna always be like, yeah, this is great. It's gonna be hard, you know? It was rough. Guys, I did not have money for like things that I needed. So when I left, all I took was the kids' beds, and I took two TVs, and I took my new living room set because I just had bought it. And so that's all I had, and I had a big U-Haul, so I had to pay for gas for that. So by the time I got to Atlanta, y'all, I was broke. I had no money. And so I was just glad that I made it. And thankfully I had friends that were so good. My first night there, they sent money. They had gotten together um to send me money, guys. So they had sent me like $180 between the four of them at the time. And so I was so grateful for that. I was like, go ahead, Kyle. You showing out. Like, every step of the way, I was blessed and I was so grateful for that. And so I was like, okay, this is a sign that I'm doing the right thing. So I had to pay attention to the signs in me stepping out of my comfort zone because it was like, okay, I was kind of losing hope because what I saw was not good. I saw like, girl, you ain't got nothing. So I had to find in those moments things to be grateful for. And so that was one aspect of me stepping out of my comfort zone where I just was like, okay, this is something that I had to do. So mind you, I had to change my mind. So I haven't been back. I haven't moved back to Charleston since I left in February of 2021. And I don't have any plans on going back to live there. I do love to visit because I love home. I feel like no matter where I go, the best soul food, that's where I'm going to get it from. Um, and so other aspects where I had to step out of my comfort zone, I had to change my mind about some things. So, uh, with me going to therapy, I was scared to go to therapy. And so I had booked my first session. Just a little thing that I want to say at your job, guys, especially if you're paying for insurance, look into what your benefits are. You never know what you're like if you don't really look into it, you just think, okay, medical, um dental, and vision. And okay, that's just basic. Look into and see what that covers. Because my job offered eight free sessions with a therapist, and then your insurance kicks in and it pays for it. So thankfully I was like, I was at work and they kept on making an announcement. Hey guys, make sure you're taking advantage of Spring Health and, stuff like that. So therapy. So I signed up for it and I was like, look at me just doing stuff. I be just doing stuff all the time. I think I've been just doing stuff all my life. You're like, let me see what this is about. So when it was coming up time for me to go to therapy, I got a little nervous because that was outside of my comfort zone, talking to somebody about what I was going through, how I was feeling, my emotions, just sharing my emotions with others, and just kind of being transparent. That was hard for me. I've never truly done that. And so that was a step out of my comfort zone. So here I was, my baby was talking to her grandma and she was like, somehow we got on the phone and she was like, what are you guys doing this weekend? And so my mother-in-law was talking to me, and when she asked me what I was doing this weekend, I was like, I'm supposed to be going to therapy, but I think I'm not going to go. And she was like, why? And so I shared with her, like, I'm not comfortable with talking to somebody. Like, what am I going to talk about? You know, is my therapist going to judge me? Which I picked the therapist, and I'm so grateful for her. Um, like I said, she was like, well, you don't know that you're not going to like it if you don't try. So her advice to me, and I take nothing that she says to me lightly because she is just definitely like, she's just one of those people that like, she's one of those really strong people that like, Like, you got to, like, girl, no, ain't no, you don't got time for that. you you got to, she makes me want to be strong. She wants me to be the strongest version of myself, just witnessing her be strong. And so I love my mother-in-law. Love you so much. If you're listening, mwah, 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 love you so much. um she encouraged me. She was like, just go, and just see how you like it. Like, you don't know if you're not gonna like it. You don't know that you're not gonna like something if you don't try it. And she kind of gave me some insight on her experience, um, with my sister-in-law going to therapy. And so, she was like, for the most part, she felt like it was a good thing for her. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go for it. She told me to go for it. I'm gonna go for it. And so she was like, just let me know how you like it or whatever. And so I loved it, but it was a step out of my comfort zone. So I had to change my mind about therapy and like, and you look at it like, okay, me going to therapy, does that make me weak? Does that make me like, am I crazy because I need therapy? Is something wrong with me because I need therapy? No, it's nothing wrong with you because you need therapy. Your therapist works with you on the level that you're on. Everybody's different, and so that was me stepping out of my comfort zone to talk about it, and that encouraged me starting therapy encouraged me to do this. So my mother-in-law encouraged me to go to therapy, my therapist encouraged me to go ahead and do the podcast, and here I am today. I'm helping people like how I love to do, and so I'm so grateful for that. um Another thing, me stepping out of my comfort zone, another aspect to look at it. And I changed with me having 7 kids. I have to work my schedule around them. And so everything that I do it in consideration of my kids. And so my husband overall, all in all, is the breadwinner for sure. And so there's me, I can just work anywhere because he, like, you know. And so I'm I'm fortunate enough to be able to just like, okay, I could just get a job and just to make sure, I can do something. So here we are. I changed my career. I've been in banking for 10 plus years. And so I changed my career and I started a job that was so out of my comfort zone, guys. And I had to do it for my kids because here I am. I'm in a city where I don't have a physical support system. So I don't have anybody to watch the kids. Daycare is an arm and a leg. Groceries is an arm and a leg. And so, um, here we are. I'm out of my comfort zone and I start to like the job. So here I am liking the job, and then, other opportunities present themselves. And so my manager was like, you should apply for the new position that just opened. And I was like, uh, yeah, I'm cool with just being a regular team member. And so, he was like, no, you should definitely apply. Um, and he even prepped me for the interview and everything. So here I am, I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, applying for a opportunity that I don't feel like I'm qualified for because who am I to get this job when there's other people applying that have been here longer, that are more skilled than I am, that are more, that they're not new to this. They're true to this. And so here I am, I'm applying for a job that other people that I felt like were more qualified than myself were, and I got the job. So here I am thinking like, okay, I just got this job for us to have insurance benefits and to make money for like groceries and stuff and like the light bill and my phone bill and stuff. And so here I am just thinking like, okay, bare minimum. I'm just give it what I got. I only work 3 days a week, so it was just like, okay, get it out the way, whatever, blah blah blah. And so I stepped out of my comfort zone to come on up higher, to move up. And I got it. So stepping out of your comfort zone, like I said, is not just changing your physical, but your mental. Sometimes you have to lose your mind to renew your mind. Well, you have to lose your mind to renew your mind. And so if you find yourself so comfortable where you realize, you take a step back and you realize, hey, I'm not growing here. Um, I don't care if it's your career. I don't care if it's your relationship. I don't care what it is. There's opportunities to grow when you find yourself doing the same thing and you're so comfortable that even though your comfort zone is uncomfortable, because your comfort zone can be uncomfortable, like you can be working at a job where you don't make enough and you know for a fact that, okay, this job does not make ends meet. However, it's it's what I'm comfortable with. It's a safety net. I know that I'm going to get paid from this job. I know that every week I'm going to have a deposit, or every 2 weeks I'm going to have a deposit from this job, even though it's not enough. So it not being enough should be uncomfortable. Like, okay, I am sick and tired of not enough, you know? So when you get sick and tired of not enough, that should be your cue to step out of your comfort zone. When you realize that the relationship is consistently one sided, or you're consistently going through the same things and you're not growing in the relationship, that should be your cue to step out of your comfort zone. When you realize that those friends are doing the same thing that they were doing when you met them in elementary school, that should be your cue to step out of your comfort zone. Surround yourself with new people with different mindsets. Surround yourself with someone that loves you intentionally and someone that, surround yourself with enough, and want to continue to grow. And it boiled down to a matter of me just not believing in myself. But here I am. This is the part where you got to lose your mind, okay? So, hear me out, guys. Hear me out. So, I had to think about it like, okay, I don't believe in myself when it comes to me doing something new. However, I believe that I'm going to wake up tomorrow. I believe that I'm going to be here in 6 months to make it to the kid's dentist appointment that I just scheduled. Why am I scheduling an appointment for 6 months out and I don't even know that I'm going to be alive and well to even make it to that appointment? I believe in that. We schedule these appointments. We schedule hair appointments, wax appointments, nails. We schedule things with the faith that tomorrow or when that appointment comes, I'm going to be able to show up. Why am I thinking that I'm not able to do something new? And like my mother-in-law said, you don't know that you're not going to be good at a thing or that you're not going to succeed at a thing if you don't try. It all boils down to a matter of not being afraid to fall, not being afraid of failure, not being afraid to not be the best at something. And so if you move from your hometown and it doesn't work out, so what if you have to go back? That's nothing to be ashamed of. Because guess what? The people that are going to be pointing their fingers and laughing, those are people that weren't bold enough to even try in the first place. The people that are going to be, teasing and laughing at you, or, that you're worried about what they think or what they feel or what they're going to say if you go back to where you were comfortable. They're gonna be like, oh, look, you're back. Ha 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 ha. You didn't even have the courage to leave. So, like, you didn't even try it. So, why, like, who's the weenie for real? And so, in that, try things. You don't know, you get one life, guys, and life is too short to stay in your comfort zone, especially when your comfort zone is uncomfortable. Okay, it's uncomfortable. It's time to come on up a little higher. It's time to move. It's time to do something different. It's time to let go of that friend group. It's time to stop hitting the club every night because I'm not growing here. So I had to get tired of not growing, and I had to believe in myself. And so I encourage you to believe in yourself, to trust your abilities, to trust what you know that you're capable of. Because we can know we're capable of something and we'll talk ourselves out of it. And then also another thing, oversharing. When you're stepping out of your comfort zone, keep it to yourself. Some people will, they won't even know that they're doing this. Some people will speak their fears into your plans because they had a traumatic experience. Girl, don't leave him. Who gonna pay your bills if you leave him? Girl, don't move out of town. Who gonna watch them kids? Who watched the kids while I'm here? You ain't watching them. Why? Why do it matter? You know? Let me figure that out. Let me do what I need to do for me. Don't speak your fears in my plan. That's why you don't tell people what your plans are. You go ahead, set the foundation, and you tell people when it's done. Those people that focus so much on, oh girl, you ain't told me, you fake, you ain't told me. I had to focus. I know that if I told you, then I was going to think too hard about it. I was going to think too. So when you're stepping out on your comfort zone, you can't think. You don't have time for it. You got to go. You got to do it. You got to go ahead and cut them people off. You can't sit there and go, girl, I'm thinking about cutting Sally Sue off because Sally Sue, all she want to do is gossip. I got to cut Henry. You cannot sit there. Girl, I'm about to apply for this position. Well, girl, he been here for 10 years. He gonna apply for it too. Now you scared to apply. You cannot. You cannot. And guys, those people that focus so much on, girl, you ain't told me versus, girl, I'm proud of you, or bro, I'm proud of you. Instead of saying bro or friend, I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you did it. I'm glad that you wanted more for yourself. I'm glad that you wanted more for your children. I'm glad you wanted to come on up a little higher. I'm glad that you saw the potential in you that's been in you. And so instead of saying that, and they're so focused on, oh, you ain't told me, what kind of friend are you? What kind of friend are you? Do you really, like, and sometimes those people that they want to be in a competition with you for real. It's like, why is me telling you your focus so that you could say, well, I'm working on it, like, so what? So what? I didn't tell you. Are you proud of me? Tell me that. And so, I mean, it's people that are going to say, "Oh, you didn't tell me that," and they're saying that, they're not meaning any harm. But when people just focus on that, like, they're upset that you didn't tell them that what your plans were. Why? Why do what my plans are matter? Well, I plan on I plan on eating lunch today. What you gonna do about that? What you gonna do with that information? Are you gonna pay for my lunch? No. So so what is me talking about my plans to you? And people sometimes not sharing your plans, it just helps you to focus more, y'all. It helps you to zone in on what it is that you want to do. Whether it's a career change, address change, excuse me, or just a friend circle change. It doesn't matter what the change is. Sometimes you can't focus talking about it so much to other people. Talk about it to yourself. Write it down to yourself. Write it in your journal. Um, Take your time and just focus on what it is outside of your, like, when you're uncomfortable, that stepping out of your comfort zone is uncomfortable. And so, but it's an opportunity to grow. It's an opportunity to be better, the better version of yourself. And you should always want that for yourself at all times. Like, that should always be a goal, especially um those that just want to be in a better place. Um Like I said, I'm always finding myself stepping out of my comfort zone, trying something new. Whether it's even food, y'all, that's stepping out of your comfort zone, expanding your palate. That's stepping out of your comfort zone. It can be that small, guys. It can be really small or it can be really big, but stepping out of your comfort zone is important and it's worth it. And if you haven't tried it yet, try it. So I'm gonna end this week's episode with that. I pray that you guys have the best week coming. Um, I pray that this episode has helped somebody in some way. Guys, just do it. Just do it. Just go for it. Buy the car. Figure don't do anything, don't do anything and be like, oh, Kiara told me that. No, y'all. You know what's gonna work for you. You know what you need. You know it in your heart. You know, be able to discern where when it's your time. It's like double dutching. When the ropes are turning, I can't tell you, girl, go ahead and jump in. Boy, go ahead and jump in. You got to jump in when you're ready and on your time. And so, in your time, on your time, go ahead and step out of your comfort zone. It's worth it. I promise you it is. Um I got I am living proof, y'all, that stepping out of your comfort zone, it works. You cannot grow where you're comfortable. And I want to use um I'm about to end it up now, but I want to use this. Think about it as like you're sitting on your foot or you're laying on a couch. For a moment, it might be comfortable, but after a while, you're gonna find some kind of discomfort and you're gonna need to move. You're gonna need to change your position. And so, in that, when you change your position, that is you stepping out of your comfort zone. It's that simple, guys. Um, like I said, it's not easy to step out of your comfort zone because your comfort zone is where you feel safe at. And so, where you feel safe is, is comfortable, even if it's not enough. And not enough is not enough. Be okay with knowing that you might not be successful at it, but you tried. And at the least, you learned something. You learned something about the process. You learned something about yourself. You learned something that maybe next time when you try it again that you could do differently. And so keep going. Don't give up. Keep trying. Keep making those steps that you need to make to be the best version of yourself. Um, I'm grateful for you guys listening. I'm grateful that you tuned in. I'm grateful for your time today. Um, be your best. I love you and have the best week.